basically SPO is not a big concept. Instead of doing it manually, you can automate those creation of those providers and all those. Okay. Next, RDA bus. Now, the data what you're loading through info, if you have some normal extraction from ECC, you create info package, you create DTP, you're loading it, and you schedule that info package or DTP to run every daily once, and every day you get in. Now, in that case, the data what I see in BW, is it not old? The data what I see in BW is 1 day old. 2 days yesterday. It's only reflecting transactions of till yesterday. But I want to have real time data into BW. As and when there is some postings done, I would like to keep pushing them into BW. Can I use remote queue? If I use SF remote queue, straight away it fetches data from there, so it is more realistic. But only thing is the performance of the query is down. So I want a solution between these two. I don't want remote access which can spoil my query performance. If I do normal loading, it is going to take a lot of, because the data which I have got in BW will be older data. So I want a solution between these two. I need to have latest data available in the reporting. Same time I should get the latest data available into BW and not virtual access, right? That's where we go with something called RDA, remote real-time data acquisition. Real-time data acquisition. So how do you use RDA? Now look at this. Simple. You basically configure normal data source flow. You create the flow, and you create IP InfoObjects with what? Delta, and you'll have DTP with what? Delta, and you'll connect both of them to some component called demand. You'll create RDA DTP, and you'll create RDA info package and connect to demand, and demand will be scheduled for every 1 minute or every 2 minutes depending on the requirement. So every 2 minutes it will be bringing those historical data, so delta data pushing into BW. I don't wait for 1 day, 2 days. And it's almost same like running delta every 2 minutes. Okay, let's see how do we do this. So I have this table. I would like to have this data coming into my automatically as a creator. I want that into BW. RSO2 ZRDA demo create. And if it's RDA, it's going to bring me delta records, right? So I should enable it for delta. I'm going with numeric pointer delta, counter like field, VBLN numeric pointer, and I should enable this checkbox. What is? If you want your data source to be worked with RDA, you must enable the checkbox real time enabled. Now say save. Then what should I do? Replicate, and then the flow is common. Okay, I'm going to create my provider. but RDA will support only for standard DSO. It does not support for cube. Okay, so create standard DSO RDA 01 demo RDA. Can I create semantic partition with DSOs also? Yes. Till here is pretty common, okay. Even loading of initialization data is also common, and the delta processing will change. We'll create transformations, data source, VBL into VBL, net value to net value. For loading historical data, what I'll do? Now first I should do what? When it is init load, you have this checkbox enabled. Only after processing init, then delta will be enabled for RDA bus. What should I do now? Init and then start. There are around 17 to 16 records out there. Good. Next, I need to load it to the target. Sorry, I had to show you that. Right, when I say create DTP, what type of DTP is this? You want standard DTP or now there is a new type of DTP you want to touch in as RDA DTP. Now I just want to do loading, so I'll say what? Standard. Okay, normal loading is done. Now before I start doing postings, what I want is, let me create one, look at this. Delta IP RDA. Now I want to enable this Delta info package through RDA flexibility, so I enable it as RDA. Now look at this. Start to do this. Here is what? Assigned daemon. Just click. The other default don't worry on this. No, that's done. Okay. Now should I use DTP of type what? Standard or real-time DTP? But what is here? Change to real-time DTP. Then go to this. There's no more start. It will be assigned to you. Just click assign button. Then get back. Okay? And one more thing is I forgot to activate this request. The 16 records what I load, I'm just activating. And RDA supports only DSO, and the data what comes with RDA straight away goes and sits into active table. No change log, nothing. That way active table will be. Done, activated. Okay, now what I've done, what are the info package in DTP I created? I assigned it to daemon already. So for daemon configuration, RS RDA is a T code. Okay, whatever you assign by default it will be into unassigned node. What is the data source? ZRDA daemon. It has got info package DTP only. Now I don't want to use it, I just want to create a new daemon. Just click on the button, what? Create new daemon, number 5, description. My own RDA. You can see the daemon settings. This will run for every 1 minute. Now 1 minute, I want to run it for every 2 minutes. Now this data source I would like to, you remember the number, right? 05. Right click, say what? Assign. Assign daemon. What is it? So now it will come into my 05. First one assign it default and it goes into unassigned. Then later I'm creating my own daemon, assigning it to my own. Then right click and say what? Start. Okay. Now so automatically there will be some background jobs running in, which will take data from delta queue and put into what? ODS active table. Now to see the data coming in, I should put some data into the tables. Or end the soon post చేసుకుంటూ పోతాంటారు అంతే. Automatically you should see the data coming. మనకి దీంతో సంబంధం లేదు, రన్ అవుతుందా లేదా, మనకు అల్టిమేట్ ఎక్కడ రావాలి డేటా. యూ జస్ట్ షెడ్యూల్ డిమాండ్ ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ 2 minutes, ఆటోమేటిక్ వచ్చి ఓడేస్లో పడతాం. యాక్చువల్లీ ఓపెన్ రిక్వెస్ట్ వస్తుంది, రాలే వస్తుంది. And as and when I create, I should start seeing them. Two minutes, but you have to wait. Automatically that will be getting pushed into this. This is RDA. So through real-time data acquisition, you can bring in real-time data into your BW systems. But if you have to do this, now your demand will be running continuously, and your background jobs will be triggered automatically. With the data every 2 minutes will be running in. So if you observe this SM50 T code, you can see the server background. And you see the background jobs are scheduled, automatically booked for it. Every 2 minutes when they are running, the background jobs will be logged for it. So do you need more resources of the server to have this RDA enabled? So what is in the real time? They'll have their own dedicated. If you go to SM51, see I got only one server. They'll install a dedicated one dedicated server and use that for all demand scheduling. Means you'll have to increase your hardware capabilities of your system if you got to do this, because ఒక డేటా సోర్స్ ఇలా ఉంది. ఇమాజిన్ ఐ గాట్ 500 డేటా సోర్సెస్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ షెడ్యూల్ ఫర్ RDA. సో ఐ హావ్ 500 to 1000 jobs running in parallel continuously for every 2 minutes, and then the server hardware capability should be heavy bus. So they go to installing a dedicated server just for handling RDA bus. Okay, and one more point is if you see this request, you will see the request has been opened, right? Open. So when will that get closed? Is if you go to info package, automatic closure of the request after 1 day. If I just say 1 hour, after every 1 hour it will be formulating new request. You can also do this one. This is RDA. Okay.